This episode of MarbleCast is brought to you by Nutrition Bros Macro Counselors. Nutrition Bros is helping people stay on track and eat to perform. Frank Cosenza provides meal templates, personalized macros, and constant one-on-one support to ensure success. So check out the link in the description and get your nutrition back on track.
What's up, CrossFit Dark Athletics? Coach Frank here, and in 2020, I'll be working with you to set up your own individual nutrition plans. And I will go to war with my brother to get you on the right plan to smash your goals in 2020. Let's go.
All right, welcome back to a MarbleCast. I'm Joe Marble, and I'm here with
Heather Mentone.
And we have a special guest, my brother, the nutrition scientist, Frank Cosenza. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? How are we?
Oh, we're doing fine and dandy. How are you?
Another day, man. Another day. Paradise.
So, Frank does all our nutrition here at CrossFit Dark Athletics, and he has a handful of clients here as well as his own. And tell us a little bit about what you did during the nutrition challenge and how you helped a bunch of people lose a bunch of weight. We had an average weight loss of about 9 pounds. I think there was 22 people, something like that. So tell us what you did, and you can go from there.
Yeah, I mean, for nutrition, I think there's a lot of information out there, and really I try to simplify it. And with each of the members that joined the challenge, what I did was got a understanding of where they were, and then gave them their macronutrients and numbers to adhere to for the 5 weeks. And during the 5 weeks, try to address any of their needs and concerns as they went through the process. Nutrition tends to be a little bit tricky just because there's so much information out there and you're not 100% sure. When you don't do it all the time, it's not part of your daily life, it tends to be overwhelming. So just really simplifying it for everybody.
Keeping it simple is the nature of the beast. That's the way to win. Heather, you were part of that nutrition challenge. How much weight did you lose? Good amount. She did pretty good. She lost a little bit, but
It all went
she
back
strayed
on.
a little bit.
I'm
too.
buying a house. Very stressful.
So, what was the biggest obstacle you had during the challenge, and in general?
Probably staying consistent with it. Like, I'm an ER nurse, and like I said, I'm buying a house, so it's very hard to eat during the day when you work 12-hour shifts in a very busy emergency room. So that was definitely the hardest part.
So, Frank, when you're dealing with someone who's living a stressed out life and maybe doesn't have all the time to meal prep, what do you suggest they do?
Ideally, with anybody that has real world life stressors, you just try to make it so that it's a lot more simplified, and you try to take each obstacle as they come. So for Heather, one of the things that we had discussed was increasing proteins so she feels a little bit more satiated when she does get time to eat. And really, it's about prepping and consistency. Sometimes life gets in the way, you can't prep, so when you purchase food or you buy meals, you just gotta focus on what you can get in during that time frame. A lot of the clients that I had and have over the years, there's nurses, there's doctors, there's everybody in between, and they all are fighting their own battles with nutrition and how to do it. But I think if you plan accordingly, you can address most of those issues. And it's tough. It's not easy. It's just you gotta be ready to ebb and flow with the situation.
Yeah, you got to put in the work. I think I spend at least 6 hours a week just cooking my meals and making sure I have food since I'm at the gym for 12, 13 hours.
And you basically spend an entire Sunday afternoon grilling and cooking and chopping and being a dad, and so it's finding the time, right, and creating enough room in terms of what you're doing to maximize the meals that you have for the week. For me, I'm a single guy. I don't have to worry about kids or a family.
But you do a lot of intermittent fasting, right?
Yeah, I've been doing intermittent fasting for 2 years now. I read a book about it after a client had asked me about it. I didn't know whether or not there was any efficacy behind it, but I enjoy challenges and I wanted to see if it really worked. The book title was Lean Gains, and one of the premises behind the book is if you structure your macronutrients in a proper way, then fasting for up to 16 hours becomes a lot easier because you're eating a lot of calories in an 8-hour window when you can eat. So I basically have been doing that for 2 years, and I eat roughly 16 to 1700 calories a day, but I divide it up in 2 meals. So in my first meal at 7 a.m., my second meal at like 1 or 2, I'm eating 8 to 900 calories depending on the meal.
And if you don't know, Frank is super ripped up, so he looks way better than I do. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God. He works out like a savage, too. I think he works out for 40 minutes just destroying his body with cardio. Walk us through some of those workouts you do, because they look pretty killer when you post them on Instagram.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about this because we were talking earlier about what we would talk about on this. Um, the workouts that I do are a, sort of an iteration of the fact that I've been working out since I was 15. So if I go into the gym and I just try to lift heavy, or if I just try to do a bodybuilder type workout where they're kind of really long and grueling, but you're doing the same repetitive motion over and over again, to me it's not as challenging when I know that the components parts are just going to defeat my mindset. And so the structure of the workouts are to really try to make myself quit. When I do the cardio high intensity workouts, I think we were talking jokingly the other day, you were like, yeah, I don't want to do 40 minutes of anything. And I was like, yeah, but part of the simplicity of the workouts that I'm doing is challenge yourself with that time, right? How many rounds can you do in 40 minutes if you only have to do 2 exercises? And it becomes almost like a war of will.
That's definitely a mental challenge at that point.
Yeah, and I've been dealing with a lot. Obviously, I don't have the stress of a full-time job bearing down on me. I'm not a ER nurse. And, just trying to figure out life. And the funny thing is that the more I challenge myself in the gym, the easier the obstacles that get thrown at me in life tend to take on, because if I can make myself do something I don't want to do for 40 to 50 minutes, then, answering a phone call that's going to be a tough conversation, or telling a client, hey, I can't take you on, or looking for a job and being rejected, it becomes a lot easier because you almost become numb to it. So the challenge of the workout is really just to make myself do something really hard for the day. This way everything else becomes simplified.
You got to take the Frank challenge, Heather. It's 30 minutes of prisoner squats and sandbag runs, and then a ruck run followed by a cougar chase.
Nah, I'm all right.
It's funny because what's funny about it is when I was in Jersey and I was home for the 2 weeks in quarantine, staying at mom's, you brought over I don't know, I think it was like a 30-pound sandbag with a 30-pound rope. So I think combined it was like 60 pounds, roughly 55, 60 pounds, somewhere in that vicinity. And one of the workouts I did one day was just carry the sandbag the length of our house back and forth for like 20 minutes outside in the sun. And it presents its own unique challenge when you do something as ridiculously simple as just carry something back and forth. I mean, everything in you is going to be like, just quit, don't do, like, why are you doing this to yourself? I don't like running, and every Sunday since I started my cut for the photo shoot for my book, I made myself run 3 miles or more, depending on whether or not I lose track of the distance. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's sort of like, just get past that mental hurdle of what the workout is and just get it done.
Do you run for time, or you just run to get it done?
So, I mean, I arbitrarily made myself do 3 miles. There was no real rhyme or reason behind the 3 miles. I knew that was 1 mile more than I want to run and 2 miles more than I have run. So I was like, I might as well just do 3. Seems like a good idea. But there's been a handful of times where it's been almost 5 miles and I'm running in about the same time frame. It's usually from 7:30 in the morning when I start on a Sunday to 8:15, 8:30, just depending on, again, how long it is and where I end up, how fast I'm moving, how much wind is out there. Because that the open cornfields now are completely cut, so there's a lot more wind when I'm running on Sunday. All the fields are basically plowed and broken up for winter. So it just becomes, just do it. Get through the 3 mile, or at least the mapped out route I've taken, and do it as fast as I can. Doesn't have to be, I'm not trying to run a 12 or 4-minute mile 3 times. I'm just trying to get through as quickly as I can 3 miles.
I think it definitely helps when you have a motive too. Like you said, you were trying to cut weight for the pictures for your book. And I think it's definitely easier to try to cut weight. Like when I have a competition coming up and I know I have to be at a certain weight class, that definitely helps with timing and prepping.
Definitely, and one of the things that actually one of my clients is now talking to me about is doing a fitness competition. And when you have a tangible goal and a very real deadline, it definitely helps keep you going, right? I don't want to let myself down, but I definitely don't want to take my shirt off and get in front of a camera and post myself on the cover of a book that will be for the rest of my life, and see my love handles or be mad that I didn't put out the best effort I could to at least make myself look as best as possible. And I mean, I'm still struggling with the idea of taking my shirt off and publicly displaying it for the world to see, because I mean, I'm not, I don't know, maybe Joe would fight me on this one, but I'm not super braggy with my body. I don't take my shirt off all the time. I mean, I definitely do post a lot of pictures of my shirt off now, lately, but I guess it was all for the idea of trying to promote and self-promote the book. And,
So speaking of that book, what is it called and when is it coming out? And let's talk about it. What's it about? What did you write? Because I'm your brother and I don't even know.
So while I was in China, when I was working over in China last year, I had a lot of downtime, and I finished reading a book that my friend gave me, Damon John's book about creating, food. And he had a full-time job working as a waiter and a server at a restaurant, and then from the hours of, I think he says somewhere in like 4 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning or midnight to 9 a.m., he was basically creating food. And for me, while I was over in China, I mean, I didn't have anything to do. I didn't know anybody. I basically had a very small room, and I was basically left to my own devices for the first like 2-3 months because I just didn't have anything to do. Once I worked out, once I trained, I was free to do whatever I wanted. And there wasn't a whole lot of exploring I could do because I didn't really know how to get around the city. So I just started reading more, and when he wrote something along the lines of like, your 9 to 5 pays your bills, but your 10 to 6, feed your soul. And for a long time, I wanted to write a book as a strength coach and really just try to help as many people as possible to mass produce my thought process when it comes to working out and what you need to do for health and nutrition, and simplify for people. That's really what the book comes down to, is trying to simplify the idea of how to program or write a program for yourself, and the idea of what nutrition should look like. The title of the book is called Confidence, Transform Your Body to Transform Your Mind, the systematic approach to building unwavering discipline. And I've been reading, I don't know, I try to read a book, once a week, one a week, every day. I try to read a little bit more. And I read somewhere, Navy SEAL Admiral had said that if you get up every day and you make your bed, sense of accomplishment. And then, that definitely leads itself into if I accomplish the next thing on my list and the next thing on my list and the next thing on the list, you can really go to bed with a sense of accomplishment. As a business owner or a former business owner and a person that, obviously I pride myself in my physical capabilities, I just wanted to share with the world. And, I write programs, online programs all the time, but I'm not mass producing them. And I would love the ability to get as many programs individualized to as many people as possible. But one thing I can definitely do is share my thought process with as many people as possible. That doesn't need to be individualized because conceptually it's all about you taking ownership for yourself and having a little pride in yourself and putting in the work. The release date, again, I might just be a glutton for punishment. I wrote it with the intent that it would be published by the end of 2020. So I've been sticking to that time frame, trying to publish it by year's end or have it ready to release by January 1. Actually just got the mock-up for the cover yesterday. So I'm doing what I can to put it out there. And obviously you and I have been talking, or not obviously to the rest of the world, but you and I have been talking about promoting it. And so this kind of led to us having a conversation here. But yeah, I'm not super braggadocious and I don't really show off a lot, but I probably should tell more people if I want them to sell.
It would help. That's true.
That I wrote the book, and the concept is really to write about what I know, which is working out, but I also wanted to tell a story. So it's how I developed my confidence just from working out, and it begins with my journey starting in high school, leads all the way to just before I left for China, because the thought process wasn't about getting to China and training at the Olympic level. The thought process was creating a belonging of yourself by your physical form to help fix the mental hurdles that you have to deal with in life. So it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you are in your life. Everybody, I think, wants to level up, and there's ways you can do it. I chose the way through working out. I mean, that's how I've done it. So I just continue to write about what I did.
A little backstory for you guys. Frank spent a year in China working with the Chinese Olympic Committee and being an assistant strength coach for the female weightlifting team. Is that correct? Yeah, so he spent a good time there. Unfortunately, his time got cut short due to COVID, just like everybody's has. And if it wasn't for Frank, I wouldn't be in this business. I started working out with him when I was 13 years old, and he was 17, so we've been working out ever since. Yeah, probably a little earlier in the basement, dropping 50-pound plates on his toe. It's a good one.
I think I started working out when I was 15. Mom and Dad bought me the bench set when I was 16, and you joined me shortly thereafter. So you're probably 12, 13, yeah, when it started for yourself. And it's really funny because originally, when I started Olympic weightlifting, you were adamant in saying that CrossFit was the way. And I kept telling you to get into Olympic weightlifting, and you're pretty defiant because of our personalities. And eventually you saw it and came over to the dark side of Olympic lifting and powerlifting sort of.
Well, when I was in college, you were programming Olympic lifts for me, but without an actual coach or a place to train, because this had to be 12 years ago. It was difficult to even do it. So you were working at Equinox, and I don't know if you guys ever been to an Equinox, but trying to Olympic lift in a global gym, it ain't that fun. So especially 12 years ago.
I've tried that too.
Get yelled at a lot.
Yeah,
Everyone stares at you.
it's a little weird when you're trying to snatch a bar and the bar doesn't really spin and you're using iron plates. It's really not that cool. But we tried anyway, and that was my biggest reason for not starting it sooner, was there wasn't really a place to do it. But I am glad that you introduced me to it. You introduced me to all of these fitness things. So without you, I wouldn't be here, and then I wouldn't know Heather, and then we wouldn't have this sweet podcast to talk about your awesome book that's coming out. So if you guys are down to read about some confidence, and I feel like I need to go make my bed after having this conversation, honestly. I got to start my day a little better. But Frank, thank you for talking with us today. I think we're going to wrap this one up. And this is our first like Zoom podcast, so that's cool. Make sure you. Yeah, it'll come out. It'll come out good. I'll make the magic work. So make sure if you have any questions about nutrition or strength and conditioning, hit up Frank at fitwithfrank83.
Instagram fitwithfrank83, or you can just email me or find me on Facebook.
Yeah, you can email him at nutritionbros@gmail, or you can email me and I'll get it to him too. CF Dark Athletics. Heather, thanks for joining us for this one.
Thank you.
And Frank, thanks for joining us as well. We look forward to the release of your upcoming book. Keep sending those ab shots and those sexy shirtless videos because I love them. All right. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Joe Marble.
Heather Mentone.
Frank Cosenza.
Age is inevitable. Weakness is not. So get out there and live some shit, guys. Thank you for listening.